God bless you. I just want to take this time to share about this book that I'm reading right here. It's called Believe That You Can, and that's by Jensen Franklin. And it's really been ministering and blessing my life and my heart. And I just want to share one of the things that I've learned from this book. And I believe that it happens to all leaders. You know, we get to a point in our lives when we just feel like we lose courage and we lose that heart for what we're doing. And one of the things that he speaks about here is Joseph's dream and how to fulfill our dreams in our lives. And one of the things that I took note of and I wrote down, it says that dreams require perseverance. Keep at it. In due time, you will see your dream a reality. And see, this right here, perseverance is one of the hardest things to do and to accomplish in our own lives. You know, the situation gets so difficult sometimes. We lose that courage, we lose that belief in God, and we don't know what to do anymore but to give up. That's our desire. We just want to give up. We just want to take the road that has less resistance. But I believe that God has placed a dream in our lives that will change the lives of so many people. As in Joseph, you know, the dream that Joseph had, you know, at the beginning it seemed to be so self-centered. It seemed to be all about Joseph and how everybody bowed down to Joseph. And it seemed like, you know, that dream just didn't seem right because it seemed to be all about Joseph and how Joseph was going to receive the worship from everybody and everybody was going to bow down to him. But see, God's purpose behind that dream didn't have anything to do with glorifying Joseph. It all had to do that if Joseph reached the dream that God had for his life, he would save many lives. Isn't that incredible? As we see the dream at the beginning, we think it's all about Joseph receiving all the glory and Joseph being praised and Joseph just having a good old time. But in reality, the purpose behind the dream that God had placed in the life of Joseph, the purpose of it was to save the lives of so many people, because the Bible shows that Joseph goes through all this stuff just to acquire his dream, to make it a reality. He has to go through all these preparations and all these situations with which prepare him to for the end of this dream. But we find that at the end of the dream, uh, you know, there's a real need for Joseph to stand up and to do what God has called him to do. When Joseph does stand up and do what God has called him to do, we find that, you know, there was a great hunger on earth, and everyone was gonna die if it hadn't been for Joseph, who had the wisdom to stand up and say, I will persevere on my dream and I will do what God has called me to do. And I'm just not going to worry about the situations that are out of my control. I'm just going to worry about doing what God has called me to do, which is to live out this dream. And you know, at the end, everything that Joseph had dreamt about became a reality. So I want you to understand that you must persevere in your dream, because if you do, you will be a blessing to a lot of people that are waiting for you to stand up and do what God has called you to do. See, when we don't stand up and we don't persevere in our dream, you know, that need that we're meant to fulfill will stay as a need. So I want us to understand something today. God has placed a dream in your life. God has called you to do something in your life, not for your own benefit, but to benefit those people that surround you. See, God created a problem, and after He created a problem, He created you as the solution. When we fail to accomplish our dreams, when we fail to do what God has called us to do, the only thing that happens is that solution never becomes a reality for the people that surround us. So, as I finish this today, I want to ask you to always persevere in what God has called you to do. Because when you persevere in what God has called you to do, then you become what God said to Abraham. He said to Abraham, I will make you famous, but overall, I will make you a blessing to all the families of the earth. So if we want to be a blessing to other people that surround us, we must understand something that's very important, and that is that we need to persevere and accomplish the dream that God has placed in our lives. Thank you.